Hey guys, my name is Evelyn Salazar, and you're probably here because you either saw an EF Ultimate Break ad on Facebook, on Instagram, maybe somebody told you about it, or you kind of heard about it from someone, and you're wondering, is this legit or is it a scam? That's exactly what I thought at first too. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet for you guys because I personally like short and sweet. So is EF Ultimate Break really worth it? So the question, is EF Ultimate Break actually worth it? I'm going to tell you that it is 120% worth it. And let me tell you why. Traveling is one of my number one priorities in life, okay? I am not rich. I am not like a trust fund baby. I do not have, I live a lot of times like paycheck to paycheck, to be honest with you. But I just make traveling a priority, and finding a company like EF Ultimate Break has allowed me to travel the country since I turned 21. My first EF Ultimate Break trip was to Belize in Guatemala during my 21st birthday. And after that, I got addicted and I was like, I have to do one of these trips every single year. And this year, I'll actually be doing 2 trips in the same year, which is really crazy. So yes, it is 100% real. It's 100% worth it. And again, let me tell you why. Reason number one why it's worth it. It is stress-free traveling. When I mean that EF Ultimate Break, When I say that, I mean that EF Ultimate Break plans your flights, your hotels, your transportation, all of your breakfast, some dinner, and activities already planned out in a full itinerary that you could go check out on their website and see exactly what you'll be doing every single day that you're on that trip. How much more stress-free could you be? You literally pay for the trip and then go. That's it. Now, yeah, you could book your own flights if you wanted to, which makes the trip price cheaper. You just uncheck with flights. But personally, I enjoy the stress-free, so I just let them take care of everything. And then I just bring money to spend on souvenirs, on food, on other activities that may be not on the list during my free time, and have a great time. 2, they have an endless amount of options to pick from. I have been to Belize, Guatemala, Costa Rica during New Year's, Ireland during New Year's, and I'm booked to go to Japan and Bali, Indonesia this year as well. My next trip I'm looking at is Egypt too. There is literally such a wide variety of places to choose from. 3, there are payment plans, okay? If there weren't payment plans, I would not be able to do these trips. Now, the way that the payment plans work is you put down a deposit of $150 that secures your spot on the trip, and then you get to choose the payment plan you want. You could do it monthly, you could do it bi-weekly, you could do a manual plan so that you just put down a certain amount and then pay it off before a certain amount of time. They have a lot of different options. Obviously, the further out that you book, the cheaper your payment plans will be. And that is how I have used them to travel the world. Now, I know a lot of people think, okay, but what if I want to go by myself and I don't know anybody? My first trip, I went completely solo. It was my first trip out of the country. It was my first trip by myself, and I was going to turn 21. I was nervous as hell, but I mean it with my whole heart that on this trip, you have groups of ages 18 to 29 that you will meet and make friends. Have you ever gone to a summer camp and you didn't know anybody, but by the end of the camp, it felt like you were family or something similar to that? It is like that. You just spend so much time exploring a new country with these people and engaging with them and laughing with them and all experiencing the same thing at the same time that you are bound to make some friendships. The groups could also be anywhere from 25 to 40 people, honestly. I think my largest group was 36 people. With that amount of people, you're going to get along with somebody. Also, a lot of the travelers that go on these trips are solo travelers, so you're not going to be the only one that is there by themselves. If you don't want to go alone, you are more than welcome to bring a friend with you, and you guys could even partner up as roommates. Either way, if you go by yourself or if you go with a friend or a partner, you're gonna have so much fun. Also, the other great thing about it is that they have tour guides, and these tour guides actually live in the country that you're visiting. So it's not some American just going along with you, using Google of best places to eat. These people actually live here, and so they're culturally aware of their surroundings and their environment, and they know where the best spots are. They're going to take you the best places. Roommate situation. So like if you go to a summer camp, you're going to be put into groups of roommates. Now, if you do an Ultimate Plus trip, which you'll see on the site, that means that you'll only have one roommate. That's pretty new. My other EF trips that I went by myself, it was 3, 4, 5 girls in a room, but it never felt cramped. It never felt like claustrophobic. Like you had an actual bed, an actual space. Or you could upgrade. If it's not an Ultimate Plus trip, you can upgrade to get just a double room, so you would have one roommate, or you could do a single room. It's more money, but again, you can put that in your payment plan. What are the hotels like? So that is something I wanted to know too, because personally, I don't want to stay in like a hostel where it's like a bed in the middle of this common shared room, and I have never once experienced that. So like, no hate to people that do that. I just wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. All of the hotels are amazing. They all are great. They have great views. They have great beds. If there has ever been any type of problem, you just bring it up with your tour director and they fix it, but that has never really happened. They're all pretty nice hotels. And usually on your EF trip, there will be one hotel or one place that you stay that's like 5-star kind of like luxury hotel, which I think is really cool. Now, if you do an Ultimate Plus trip, all of your hotels are high-end places to stay, which is really cool. What do you pack for an EF trip? This all depends on what EF trip you're going to, but the cool thing about it is that you get an EF account and it'll show you a list of things that you should bring. It'll also show you like your flight information, which will be available like a month or 2 before you depart, and you'll get your own Facebook group of all the people that you're already going on this trip with. So that way you can talk and meet and interact with them before you even go on the trip. So that way you guys can figure out, you know, what to bring, if anyone's going to bring this, or if people could help me take pictures while I'm there. It is a really nice community that they build up for you so that you're really not just thrown into the trip completely not recognizing anybody's face. A lot of things people ask is, will I have any free time to do what I want to do? Yes. Every day there is something planned. You have something planned, some kind of activity that EF puts on their itinerary. After that itinerary is over, you always have free time. You have free time to go get dinner in downtown. Like, you want to go to the pubs in Ireland, you can go out with friends and get dinner. You want to go over to the museum in Paris during your free time, you can go and get a group and go over to the museum, or go by yourself. You always have free time to relax at the hotel if you want to and do whatever it is you want. Plus, a lot of EF trips have a free day in their itinerary, and during that free day, you could leave the group and plan, obviously tell your tour guide, but you could leave the group and plan something to go do on your own. I did that when I was in Ireland, and I decided to go to see a certain castle that was like 2 hours away with my boyfriend, and it's because we had a free day and I didn't want to waste it. So yeah. How do you get around? For all of the EF trips that I've been on, we have always gotten around by a tour bus. We have a tour bus with a tour bus driver who is our same driver throughout the entire trip. So a lot of times when we go places, you're able to leave your stuff on the bus that you don't need. So you don't need to be hauling so many things around. And your suitcases and luggages are safe at the hotel. So the tour bus is how we jump from destination to destination. I know that when I'm going to Japan, I'm going to be taking like the bullet train they have to some of the other cities. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but I'm really excited. And I've always had a bus, and it works. What if I get sick abroad, or my flight has to be canceled, or just something doesn't go right? I 100% recommend EF travel insurance. It'll cover everything. It'll take care of you. There was a girl on my Belize trip who got, I think she got swimmer's ear, and she had to see medical help, and it was completely covered, like no charge from EF. What's different about traveling with EF and then traveling by yourself? Obviously, there's a lot of differences. The main takeaway for me is that I'm going to a brand new country that I have never been to. So I could Google places to go, places to stay, food, to eat while I'm there. it just requires a lot more planning. That's going back to the whole stress-free. Honestly, I've had people say, even planning a trip to California, I live in Utah, even planning a trip to California, sometimes you're like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And you kind of resort to the same things. I feel like with EF, because their tour guides live there, it pushes you a little bit more out of your comfort zone, a little more out of your box, and you get to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do yourself or plan yourself. Plus, you're with a group of people and experiencing and having fun together. Some people like traveling solo completely, and that's fine. If you really do not like being around a group of people, and I'm not talking about you have like social anxiety and stuff, I mean you just don't like interacting with, people, and you want to have your independent alone time all the time, then it's probably not for you. But if you need that, if you're on the other side of that and you want to have fun with people, you want to interact with the locals and have a group of people to feel like you're not alone, then this is perfect for you. Don't get me wrong, I just know that if I was planning a trip by myself to Ireland, where I went, I would have no idea where to start. I'd be like, okay, we're going to go to Dublin and Galway. What are we going to do there? I wouldn't have thought of going to these castles and all these other crazy nature sites that I had no idea existed. And maybe I could have found them on Google, but maybe not. I just don't want to cheat myself out of that because I know I wouldn't plan the perfect trip. Also, when you plan a trip by yourself, you have to think about, okay, I'm going to book my flight. I'm going to need a rental car. I'm going to need to find hotels and places to stay. And again, I prefer the stress-free. Now, that pretty much sums up all of it. If you have any more questions, you could leave them in the comments and I will respond to you. I have some YouTube videos up on my channel already that are from, you saw some of the clips in this video, but they're like a montage video of each of my trips, so you could go check those out. I will also have a link in my bio where you could go to EF Ultimate Break and you could use my code UAEvelyn100 to get $100 off your first trip with EF Ultimate Break. You'll have to use my link. You'll have to use my personal link to activate the code for it to actually work. So make sure that you do that and let me know if you do, because I love it when people decide, hey, I'm gonna book an EF trip, I'm gonna do it, go for it, and trust me, it's gonna change your life. And I think the last thing I wanna say is, if you really want to travel, if that is something that you really want to do it now. Travel while you're young. Don't wait. Some people say, oh, I'll work hard in my 20s and then retire when I'm 60 and then I can travel the world, okay? But let me tell you something, because I know everybody knows somebody like this. How many times have you heard an older person, a person that's older than you, say, oh, one day I want to go to Europe. One day I'll go to Italy. One day I'll go to Greece. You hear that all the time. And I decided that my one day was going to be today, was going to be now, was going to be in my lifetime that I'm living right now. Because I hear people that are still like 65, 70 years old, still saying one day. Make it happen now. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Go ahead and like this video. Let me know if you book a trip, because I will answer any of your questions that you have. And thanks for watching.